And this platform, all these platforms are giving us a voice to really just let everyone know what really happens at the Conjuring house. Isn't the house being scary, it's the owner being a horrible, horrible person. One of the things that I want to bring forward, and I know I sounded a little aggressive initially with talking about the house and my experience right now with the owner, but the reason for that is quite literally, just before coming on, I got a text from her again, and I don't even know why she's texting me, but she told me that I had no right to speak my mind on social media about her or the house. So now I am totally speaking my mind now.
I thought all of the streaming money, everything that was going to the house was going to some immaculate contract company or landscape company keeping the grounds so beautiful. How did the grounds get so beautiful, Brian?
Thank you for that. Me. I was actually, when I went full-time in May, that was one of my roles. Like the title Vice President of Operations for the Conjuring House, that was the title given to me by Jacqueline Nunez, the owner.
Right.
There is no vice president aspect to it. I was a caretaker, I was a tour guide, and I was a coordinator of the rest of the staff. And along with that, I would do all of the yard work. I would do all of the housework. I worked blood, sweat, and tears to bring that house to the beautifulness that it was when Corey and Jen owned it, because Corey and Jen were the ones that actually continued on the tradition of Norma Sutcliffe. And after all of that changed hands in 2022, it's been a challenge to keep up that tradition. But before we go any further, I just want to make sure on record I clear things up totally.
Absolutely.
The people that made that house look as it does, the people that created the paranormal business there, the people that turned around and actually made that house look as it is, that credit goes to Norma Sutcliffe, the owner of 30 Years, who actually made that into a healing farm and did so many wonderful events on that property at a very affordable rate. And then to Jen and Corey Heisen. They are the creators of the Conjuring house that people fell in love with. What we have now and what is being done now, this owner now, what we all know, what we all love, what we all have gone to many, many times before is dead. What we have now is a shell of that that's being operated by a really attacking, horrible person. I was, after all of my family members left, like I said, Corey, Jen, Reed, Cody, Satori, Steve Mills, a bunch of other people besides that in the periphery, when they left, I was begged for 2 months to go. I made very specific assurances before I went. Number one was I would be made whole. I would have health insurance. I would have proper payroll deductions. I would have the pay that was agreed upon. And along with that, I would have the ability to pay staff members and to order supplies as necessary to continue the running of the farm. None of that went through.
Right, and that's not something unusual that a vice president of a company would be able to do and everything. These are actually duties of a small up and coming company that somebody in that position would do. So there's nothing unusual about that. But what's unusual is she never signed you up for anything as far as
here's where it gets really weird. So my first day on, I'm like, we got to onboard me. I've not been onboarded, yada, yada, yada. And she ignored me. But then she sent me a link to a Gusto app, which I have never heard of. And it's, I guess, some form of payroll app. She said, you must onboard onto that. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable onboarding my protected private information, my social security number, my bank account information, all of that to an app. And she made me do it. That was the only way I was going to be able to get payroll deductions and get paid every 2 weeks. So I did. My 2 weeks went by. 3 days after my payday, I'm like, Jacqueline, where's my money? This app isn't working. I'm not getting anything. And her response to me was, oh, someone must have gotten my phone. They hacked that app and they deleted your personal information. And I literally said, that's my personal protected information. You saying it's out there somewhere for someone to take? And
Wow.
she walked away from me, did not even respond to my question.
You guys were working these very, very long days. Did you have any time off? What was it like as far as that goes? You have to deep clean a house. Like,
So
that
me and
sounds,
we have what's called the caretaker that stays on the property, and this is going to be another funny story. A caretaker that stays on a property for one full week at a time, Friday at 11 a.m. to the following Friday at 11 a.m. And that's what I was doing there the night that you guys all came. I was
right.
acting as caretaker. So that person cannot leave the property. They have to live there for 24/7 for 7 days. They get paid $1,000 a week by Venmo, nothing illegal, just by Venmo with Jacqueline's personal account. And
Nothing on the
quite
books.
right,
Nothing
and
on the
quite
books.
literally, it comes out to $5.92 an hour, which the minimum wage in Rhode Island is $14 an hour. But some of the other things that I always want to bring forward with everything that's going on now is the reason I'm not working there anymore is, for those that may not know, I was fired. I was fired because she said she heard the voices of John Arnold in her head stating I was stealing from her.
I
I
have
even
to.
asked, "Are you John Arnold, who died in 1839?" And she responded, "Yes, Brian. Yes, you're a liar," and a whole bunch of other stuff after that. She paid me my first paycheck. She skipped another 2 week pay period, didn't pay me at all. When she's paying me, when I say that, I mean she's writing me out a check from her own account without any
Right.
payroll deductions being done. And
Right.
then the last final 3 weeks of my tenure there, when she fired me, I hadn't been paid for my past 3 weeks as well as the 2 weeks she skipped. So she owes me 5 weeks of pay. This lady could literally be a cult leader. She's highly manipulative, and she picks and chooses when she wants to be whatever you want to call she is now. But what she can do is go from that highly manipulatory person that's really appears to be sweet and loving and telling you what you want to hear, and then dangling the carrot of the Conjuring house over you, to once you finally bite on and you take in the Conjuring house, you start working there, bam, it's totally different person. You don't know who you're talking to. You can be talking to this person, she'll stare right through you. I've seen her sitting down on a couch staring at the TV for an hour, 2 hours at a time, but the TV's off. She's staring at a blank screen. The insidiousness of what she's been posting today. She attacked Jason Hawes for no good reason, saying that he's tried to assassinate her, saying that he's showing up on the property when in fact it was actually an overnight guest leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
She's incessant with hatred. The things that she's done to Cody, Satori, Jen, Corey, Reed, Steve Mills, all of us, is just unbelievable. And that's why I'm here, because I felt enough is enough. This has to stop with me. And this is a hill I'm going to die on. So she turned around, and the day that she fired me, she was acting very strangely all day long, staring off into space, that sort of thing. But I'm in the merch room, which, mind you, has cameras and audio. There's no way of taking anything without being seen. That's why it's the gift shop, right?
Yeah. And
So,
I was there, and
yeah,
in my head, I'm
you
trying
saw
to
it.
think, how could he do this? Because like we were all, I believe, did we not all pay with debit?
Yeah.
So I know cash isn't used as much these days,
Exactly.
and it just, the whole thing kind of reeked. And but please go
Yeah.
ahead,
So
elaborate more.
You hit right. 90% of all the transactions done at the house is cash. I'm sorry, is Square. They don't use cash.
Yeah.
The cash that we do have stays in a cash box for making change if someone in fact does pay cash, which is rare. So she accused me of stealing $3,000 out of that cash box, which it has never held ever, because we don't get that much in sales from cash.
Please,
Yeah.
please
And
continue.
so I even said to her, no one stole it, Jacqueline. And she put her hand out saying, you did, John Arnold told me. And then she kicked me off the property. But then she went further. Then she went and turned around and sent a group text to all of my staff members saying, I just had to fire Brian because he stole $3,000 off of from the merch room. John Arnold told me this, and therefore he's gone. And by the way, he was also psychically attacking me.
Hey, here, thanks, Dan. Hello, everyone. I had to fire Brian today. I was informed by John Arnold of TCH that he has stolen over $3,000 from the cash box since working here. So she's getting her information about her employees or partners or vice president from the ghost of John Arnold.
Right. And then on top of that, instructing all of the staff members that they were no longer allowed to contact me. Yeah, so she did that, but then obviously I spent the weekend just thinking about what I should do, because I'm the type of person, I don't react to things. I wait and I respond. And so that's exactly what I was doing, taking a weekend to respond. And then when I posted my video on my GoFundMe page, she literally went on my page, on my GoFundMe page, where the request was, and left a strong ass comment saying, do not donate. I sent you that clip as well.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. You stole $3,000 from the Conjuring house. It speaks for itself. The fact that you're starting a GoFundMe page is laughable. Tells what laws we broke by. This is all going to be in the final video, guys. I'll have it overlaid so you can really read it, and I'll screw.
I mean, anything's possible, but the reality of it is, you bought a turnkey business. You didn't do anything except get a $1.5 million mortgage. There's nothing for you to do other than fuck it up, which is what she's doing.